I'm the CEO at CK Family Services. I'm testifying today on House Bill 1. We are based in North Texas and provide services across the state. Our mission statement is people united through God to enhance the physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being of at-risk children and families. Thanks to the commitment of the legislature and with support of our community, in addition to foster care and adoptive services, over the last 8 years we've developed intensive mental and behavioral health services to better support children and youth. A path made possible due to the passing of the Senate Bill 58 in the 83rd session. We were one of the original pioneers of treatment foster care in Texas, a program that supports high-needs children in community-based family homes who otherwise would have required treatment and congregate care. Our treatment foster care parents are skilled professionals, provide rigorous wraparound services in order to stabilize the child and step down to less intensive environments. Over the last 5 years, we have served more than 150 children and youth in our TFFC program. Our TFFC program is built on the best of foster care and behavioral health programs. Without the historical and ongoing support of the legislature, we simply could not meet the needs of children and families we serve. Continuing the supplemental add-on rates as requested by the DFPS legislature appropriations request will help continue the success of this program. We provide these programs because the community needs us. We were one of the first child placing agencies in Texas to contract with Star Health to provide targeted case management and mental health rehab services to youth in DFPS conservatorship. We also contract with multiple other managed care organizations across the state to ensure ready access to high quality mental health and behavioral health services for children and families who are not in DFPS conservatorship. Economic conditions have made it increasingly difficult to source and hire a quality mental health workforce. The current rates do not allow us the flexibility we need to compete with candidates who have a more lucrative options in the private sector. The legislature paved the way for these services and can continue to support us and those we serve by ensuring rates are sufficient to meet the needs. House Bill 1 prioritizes mental health services, and we are grateful. We ask that you move forward, that you prioritize services by child and family serving community organizations like CK. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Any questions? Representative Wu?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear, you don't have a specific ask. You're okay with what's in this budget. You don't have a specific ask for in addition to the budget, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I know you mentioned briefly about Star Health and the provision of mental health care in the foster care system, and something I care a lot about.
Yes, sir.
So, in your experience, has the service provided by Star Health been adequate to meet the needs of foster youth around the state?
Yeah, we don't have any. Star Health has been great. Star Health is a great partner with us. We've been utilizing Star Health since the inception of our program. We don't have any issues with Star Health whatsoever.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Members, any other questions? All right. We'll move on to.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Jamie McCormick. I'm here with the Texas Alliance of Child and Family Services. Our members are organizations like CK, Family Services across the state. They provide foster care, adoption, prevention services, and more. And CK is a great example of organizations that are working to meet the unique needs of their community. They see a need, and each one of them has sort of a unique DNA that is reflecting what their community needs and how they're working with stakeholders to address it. We've spent a lot of time over the last couple of years talking about the foster care capacity crisis, and that is critically important. We've seen a lot of focus and attention from you all, which we are very grateful for. We've got investments in the base budget through rates and rate methodology, which is really very important for us to continue to address that. But what I want to focus on today is looking at a little bit more at other parts of the continuum that will also help us stabilize that crisis. One of the best ways that we can address the foster care crisis is to keep those kids out that don't otherwise need to be there. We've got in family preservation services, one of the things I've heard you talk about, Representative Howard, is the Family First Transition Services Act. There are programs on the Family First Clearinghouse that can help us meet kids with really intensive behavioral and health needs in their communities and keep them in their homes. There are also programs that will keep families together of all ages, different needs. On the other side of the continuum, we've got post-adopt and post-permanency services, DFPS and their LAR. has a request for an increase to post-permanency services. This is sort of like the little program that could. It's a small program, but has a big impact for kids that come out of the foster care system and they find permanency. This is a way, if there's a crisis, if they are struggling, they can get services, and it hopefully will prevent re-entry into care, which is really important. There's a big investment in primary prevention in the DFPS LR, which we also support. And I did want to note on the mental health pieces, we have a letter from CK and several of our member providers that provide intensive mental and behavioral health services. And we are very supportive of the mental health investments that have been made in HB1, but I do think there are some ways that we can continue to invest in those mental health services. Again, continuing to create more community programs, community investments. But there's also some ways that I think we could maybe bring more providers in to become credentialed providers to treat more kids, to build more capacity in communities, again, before it becomes a crisis. So thank you so much for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Representative Howard?
Yeah, thank you. Can you just continue what you were saying there about bringing more providers in? Because obviously that's a huge issue we have. What are you suggesting we do to bring more providers in?
And Daniel can speak a little bit more about this if he likes to, but for an organization to become a Medicaid credentialed organization to provide targeted case management or mental health rehabilitative services, there's an incredibly it's a pretty rigorous process to get there, and there are many qualified organizations, but it takes a lot of resources, a lot of time to meet that bar. Additionally, there are only a couple of programs that are currently allowed for under the SB 58 program. There are only 2 services that are allowed to be reimbursed through Medicaid, and I believe that maybe looking at what else might be helpful for the Star Health population in particular might also help us, to add to that array and better stabilize those kids in care, ideally moving them down into less restrictive settings. As y'all know, I firmly believe that child welfare providers are mental health providers. They are meeting needs of kids in these settings every day. So anything we can do to be part of the conversation, the broader conversation about mental health, we want to be there.
The regulations you're talking about, state or federal?
Their state, I believe.
So it's something that we would have some control.
That's right, and it is something that we've worked with both HHSC and DFPS are continuing to work with them on it as well, and I think they are well aware as well.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Representative Wu?
No, so I'm just going to follow up on what Mr. Howard said. So, I'm sorry, are the rules that you're talking about, are they statutory rules or are they agency rules to carry out legislation? Meaning like or regulatory?
I understand. That's actually something that we're trying to figure out as well. There is language in code that speaks to the specific programs that are eligible for reimbursement, but I also understand that there is some authority within the agencies to address that. So if it can be addressed through the agency, obviously that would be wonderful.
So maybe like outside of here, we can.
Yeah, happy to follow up. We've got a lot more information.
Anytime I don't have to pass a bill.
And there's more information in that the one pager that we passed out as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions?